Okay, hello again. So I'm kind of doing some catch up right now on these little videos. I didn't make one yesterday, so I'm gonna make, I guess, two today, kind of like I have been doing when I mess up that whole rest of the whole schedule thing. So yesterday, I did make a video. So instead, I'm gonna make the video. Well, you get the idea. So again, have a little list here. Uh, and I was just talking to my dad yesterday, a couple days ago, about kind of feeling lost in life, and not really knowing where to go. And we were kind of just we were going over that whole thing. And so what he was saying was that he was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about how when you're feeling lost, there's lost, and then there's kind of exploring. So sometimes you can feel lost because you don't have like one thing to be searching for, or one thing to be fighting for, or one goal, or one purpose. Um, and not that there has to eventually be just one. I mean, I think life can be full of a lot of different goals and a lot of different purposes and journeys, um, and kind of end points. There doesn't have to be necessarily one. But I guess my point there is, let's see, is just that sometimes when you feel lost, it can you can look at it differently to where you're just exploring. You're just like experimenting with different options around you. So if you're at a kind of a dead end job that you don't like, I guess just kind of start to look at that as, well, I'm exploring this job. I've realized I don't like this job. That'll allow you to work towards kind of more your destiny, if you want to call it that, or where you really wanting to go in life. So now that you know you don't like this job, well, now it can direct you towards a better path, right? And so you're not necessarily lost then or there. You're just exploring with different jobs and different opportunities. So I think your whole life is kind of an exploration, right? It's kind of like I've been saying, is your life is a journey. Your whole life is a journey. Whether you're fighting for one thing that whether you're an engineer. Like I know, I don't know many guys that know one thing that they want to do in their life and that's what they want to do. I think a lot of people are just kind of on this little journey and they're trying to explore and just see what there is to see, and experiment with what they like and don't like. But there are some guys that have just that one thing, right? So I have a couple guys that I know of that are engineers, and that's what they're doing with their life. They're an engineer now. They're probably going to be an engineer the day they die. There's certain people that are like that as well. But again, that's a journey in itself. It's a different type of journey, but that's still a journey. So just kind of, I think, rephrasing it to where you're not lost, even though you may feel lost. Like, for example, I feel fairly lost in life right now. I don't really know what I want to do or where I want to go. I mean, I have some rough plans and rough ideas and short-term goals, but that's a tough question in life. What do you want to do in life? It's like, oh my gosh, how could you ever possibly know that? That's a really, really hard question that I think most people certainly can't answer that, and I'm one of those people. But so just rephrasing from not lost, you're exploring, you're experimenting, you're seeing what you like and don't like. So that was kind of an interesting point that my dad brought up to me that I liked. And again, like I think I've said this in the past many times, where even when you're in a place of darkness and you do feel lost, that's where you learn the most. That's where you get the most out of life. That's how you learn the most valuable lessons. Is when you're feeling lost and you're feeling like, oh well, I have no idea where to go. That's how you find the quickest solution to what you do want to do, is when you're doing things you don't want to do. It's like, okay, I mean, pretty quickly you figure out this sucks, never doing that again. And the more you do that, the more you find the things that suck or that you don't want to do, the closer you get to figuring out what you do want to do. I mean, it's right. It's like every failure will bring you closer and closer and closer to what you're actually wanting to do, and success in general. It's very hot in this car, by the way. That's my first point, and I think I'm gonna call that, I think, a video. I have more to talk about, but I kind of want to save it for the second video a little bit. So I guess that's kind of the main point. Thomas Edison, the light bulb dude, right? We all know the light bulb guy. He failed and failed and failed thousands of times, and there was one of his friends, I think, that was just like tagging along for one of his experiments, right? And he just saw him fail. Like something blew up, an explosion happened, and went miserably wrong. Nothing seemingly productive happened. But what Edison said was, he was just like, that wasn't a failure. I didn't fail just now. I just found one way not to make the light bulb, or not to, conquer my goals or my dreams. I just found one way not to do it. Now I'm one step closer to how I do it. And then eventually, now we have light and the whole world is lit because of that man. So anyway, I guess that's just kind of my point there. Okay, I'm going to call that a video. Roger out.